it's Alberto Lombardi. Here we are again talking about the genius of Jimi Hendrix. His guitar playing was clearly amazing and inventive, but when you think he did it in the 60s, nobody else even thought of doing all those coloring notes on the chords like in Little Wing. If you missed my tutorial on that, I will link it in the description and maybe over here. Hit the like button and say hi in the comments, and let's start. We start at the 11th fret with an octave, so we play these two notes, which are two A flats, one on the A string and one on the G string. So we start like this. Then we move back with the whole hand one fret and we go to the 10th fret. So we do. You have to be careful about two things. The first one is to mute all the strings that are not sounding, that you don't want to sound. So the only two strings that are actually ringing are the two that you are fretting. I have an entire video on muting and you can check it out on the link in the description and over here. Then we go at the 8th fret and we still play an octave with the same fingers on the same strings, so... But this time we slide back to the 10th fret. And then we play these two notes on the E, the low E, and the D string. It's a bit unclear if this passage is done by Jimi by sliding or by playing with the right hand both combinations of notes. So you have two options here. Notice that I am using my pinky for everything that goes on these two strings, the A and the G string. But then I switch from the pinky to the third finger when I get to these two strings, the E and the D, because it makes the change a little quicker. But of course you can play everything with the third finger. Now that you know the notes, you can add something that makes it very special. Let's hear Jimi doing it. Every time he finishes a little bit of the phrase, he adds that little downslide, and that really gives everything a lot of energy. The second lick is the one that he plays while he's singing, and right before that, and it's just these three notes. You might want to pick everything downstroke and be very mindful to make it very short. It's not a long note, it's very short, like a string staccato. Also, there is a leaked audio of some Jimi Hendrix's outtakes from the recording sessions where you hear him experimenting with different parts, and this little phrase especially is trying it with a lower octave, like this. Okay, now we get to the third lick, which is the one that launches the chorus. This one is actually overdub because I hear two guitars, both on the right hand side. One is going like this, just doing this double stop with the bending, while the other one goes. So you slide with the third finger to the 10th fret, and then you play a C note on the D string. Then you just go up 2 frets. At the 12th fret you do the same thing. Then you pick the E note right here on the D string, pull off, upstroke on the B note, and here possibly slide down. And you slide. Sliding down, you grab with your thumb the D low bass on the downbeat, so the chorus starts. I'll play it again. The second time around, he plays with the notes a bit, the notes of the double stop. But it's very similar. And the second guitar, the one that does the main lick, actually does this. It's just moving the same lick it did before from the 10th fret to the 12th fret. Here we are in D minor, and here we switch to E minor. I think the second time around, while he's sliding, he also hits the low E note, which is kinda cool. The fourth lick are the chords of the chorus, which are, starting with a low D, it's a D position, but with an added 9. So it's D on the bottom, these 3 D notes, which are D, F sharp, and A, and then you get an E at the 12th fret with the pinky to get the 9th. And then you do this. Then you slide down, but you don't play the low C as it would come natural, because you're actually clashing with the bass, because the bass is playing an A. This is the bass line. When Jimi is playing this, the bass is playing a D. But when Jimi is playing this, the bass is playing an A. So you want to avoid to play that low C with the thumb. And here he adds the lick that he starts with again. Hey, by the way, did you subscribe? Please do. And if you are a subscriber, activate the notifications clicking the little bell. This way only you will be sure to see all my future videos. The C section is the one that leads us into the solo, and it starts with the power chord of the 5th fret, a D power chord. And Jimi kicks in with the fuzz. Then he goes to C, then he goes to A, and then he goes back to C. Now we get into the solo, which is more like a theme and introduces a doubled guitar on the left side, while until now all the guitars were on the right. Even in the chorus that I told you there were 2, they were both on the right, and on the left we had the backing vocals. And there is also actually a third guitar, always on the right, that does some rhythm. Let's just check out the loudest guitar, which is the one on the left, and is perceived as the real solo. And it's comprised of 3 different phrases, where the second one repeats itself twice. This is the first phrase. You start with the bending at the 13th fret, and you bend from a D to an E. And you repeat the bend another 2 times. Be careful to separate the bend from the release. The release has to be quiet. You don't want to hear the release. You just want to hear the bend. So you have to stop the note from ringing while you release the bend. Not the third time, because you want to hear the release. And then you play a G note at the 12th fret. Here's the second phrase. So it starts the same way, you just bend at the 13th fret. You separate the bending from the release. Bend again, pick the note while releasing, play a B at the 12th fret, and bend on the G string from the A to the B note. So to put it all together, and then you repeat this phrase. It's interesting to notice that the phrases are not all in straight 8 notes. The last note is not exactly as I played it. Actually, Jimi makes it a little quicker, like it was a 16 note, like this. And on the second phrase as well. This gives us a sense of urgency that is really nice. And here's the final phrase. You bend, separate the bending, release, and then with the second finger, much possibly, you bend from the A to the B. And here too, you separate the two bendings. You don't want to hear the release. This whole part is in E minor, and I wouldn't call it a key change, but it does feel like one. I will now play the whole solo really slow so you can follow me and play along, but please remember to subscribe and activate notifications. Also, you can check out my website for more instructional material. Alberto Lombardi, till the next time, ciao! By the way, at the end it seems that the rhythm section wanted to go back to the riff, but instead Jimi kept on playing the lead, so immediately they follow him. Let's check them out. But they decided to keep it because it was a cool take.